Hi, I'm Stephanie Jaworski of joybaking.com. Today we're going to make a low-fat banana bread. Most banana bread recipes use about a half a cup of butter. So what we're going to do here is we're going to cut that amount in half, so we're going to use about a quarter of a cup, and we're also going to use oil instead of butter, so that cuts down on the amount of saturated fat. So preheat your oven to 350 degrees Fahrenheit, which is 180 degrees Celsius. And then we need a loaf pan, and you could either just spray it with one of those non-stick sprays, or you could lightly butter it. And then what we're going to do in one bowl is have 2 large ripe bananas. And by that I mean there's brown spots on them and they're nice and soft, because that makes them really sweet. And then I'm just using a fork and just mash that. Because bananas, when you first buy them and they're all yellow, they're quite firm and they don't have a lot of flavor. But once they start turning brown, the sweetness really comes out of the bananas. So I'm just going to mash that around. And then to that I'm going to add 1 teaspoon of baking soda. And I'm going to add a half a cup, which is 120 milliliters of low-fat plain yogurt. And you could use the Greek yogurt if you'd like to use that, whichever one. And just mix that around. Okay, and I'm just going to let that sit. And then for the wet ingredients, I'm going to take, you can either use 1 large egg, or if you want to cut down on the fat, you could use 2 large egg whites, so either way. And just whisk that. And then to that add 3/4 of a cup, which is about 160 grams of light brown sugar, and 1/4 of a cup, that's 60 milliliters of flavorless oil. And you can use corn, canola, vegetable, or even a light olive oil here. And also 1 teaspoon of pure vanilla extract. And just whisk all that together. Okay. And finally, the dry ingredients. In a large bowl like this, put 1 cup, that's about 130 grams of white all-purpose flour. And then what we're going to do is I've replaced some of the, normally you use more white flour. I'm going to use a half a cup, which is about 65 grams of whole wheat flour. So that's a little more healthy, and it adds some more fiber, which is always good for us. And then 1 teaspoon of baking powder, and then just a 1/4 teaspoon of salt, and a half a teaspoon of ground cinnamon. If you don't like cinnamon, then you can just leave that out, and just whisk that together. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is add my wet ingredients first into the yogurt mixture and bananas. As you can see, this is quite a bit different than your normal banana bread. It's got yogurt, which is very good. It's got the oil, or you can use all egg whites. And then the whole wheat flour. It has a lot of flavor to it, this bread. You might not want to make the regular type of banana bread again after you make this one. Okay, now if you want, you could add a half a cup or 50 grams of chopped nuts like walnuts or pecans. Or you could add, which I'm going to do here, is a half a cup, about 85 grams of dark chocolate chips. And I'm using like the 70% cocoa in there, which, as you know, is good for you. Just add a little more flavor and a little crunch. And then let's put the wet into the dry. I just love making these quick breads because you don't have to pull out the electric mixer. And if you have a dishwasher, you can just throw all the dirty dishes in and you're done. You have a nice bread. This is really nice. You could have it for breakfast with some yogurt, or it's very nice for lunch. You could have it with a light salad. Okay, so that's it. Take our pan, pour it in. Okay. Smooth the top. Okay, and pop it into the oven for somewhere around 45-55 minutes, or until it's nicely brown and a toothpick inserted into the center comes out clean. Okay, our banana bread is now done. As you can see, it's a beautiful golden brown color, and a toothpick inserted into the center will come out clean. So I'm just going to let this sit for about 10 minutes, and then we'll remove it from the pan. So to remove the banana bread from the pan, I like to take a flat edge. You can either use a spatula like this or a knife, and just run it around the outside here, inside edge, just to make sure it's released. And then, still a little hot, so I'm going to wear my mitts and just gently get it out of the pan like so. And then I like to do this, flip it around, so, and then just let it cool. And you can store this for several days at room temperature, or you can even freeze it for a few months. So until next time, I'm Stephanie Jaworski of joybaking.com.